Welcome to the Stacked Supplement Podcast, the premier source for supplement news and reviews.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Stacked Supplement Podcast. And I do apologize as we missed last week's episode, as it was truly just an intense week of news and updates. We were slammed. We have had very little time for reviews, and if you've been following along on the site, as I always say, that is the best place to get all of your latest news and updates, as we don't stop on there. We make sure that the news is out through there every day. The only day we take off is Christmas Day, and I'm excited because that is obviously right around the corner, and it's my one day off a year. And the industry, like I said, I think I said last episode, maybe even the one before that, despite the many issues and delays in manufacturing and just the problems with everything these days, I'm incredibly surprised that the industry not only has it not slowed down, it just seems like people are pumping stuff out faster, which blows my mind, because again, it's, you kind of hear about the delays in manufacturing and all that, and I just would have expected things to not necessarily slow down, but maybe stay the same. And I mean, yeah, if you've been following, we've been trying to keep up with everything. There are some new flavors that we haven't shared. They just couldn't get around to them. We were too busy sharing new products. We kind of have a hierarchy here at Stack, so kind of goes with things like new product reveals and releases. Those are kind of the first. So if anytime someone brings out an entirely new product, that's at the forefront of the hierarchy. And then you go down to flavors, if it's like a special edition or it's a cool little creative collaboration. And then you go down to things like teasers, and then you get even further down the list until you get to like rebrands and athletes and stuff like that. And so, when we're busy, you're mostly going to see a lot of that good stuff, a lot of the reveals and products. And yeah, man, this past week has been intense, and we've done our best to keep up. And so this episode is going to completely forget the week before. So we're going to go over the top stories, the top posts and stories shared on our website from the past 7 days. 7 days prior. We might have a few things that leak in from there, but we're still going to try and keep this covered on the last week. Keep you updated, keep you in the loop on things that have come out. And we have a couple of reviews for you this week. We're really trying to pick up our pace and get on top of what seems to almost be like the new norm with the mountain of new products that are rolling out. I believe we're going to have a review of Muscle Farm's Combat Energy Drink and Phenoflex's new protein cream cake, which I should probably mention because I don't think that was on. I don't think we talked about that previously. If maybe we did, maybe we didn't. It's the It's as creative and as unique as Phenoflex's original oatmeal protein pie. Now, if you remember that, it was a very unique product when it came out. It is kind of a traditional baked treat. We have got 2 oatmeal cookies and a creamy filling in between. Phenoflex has now done the protein cream cake, which is kind of the same thing, but instead of cookies, you've got 2 layers of moist cake, and then in between you've got a creamy layer. So another unique effort, similar kind of format, I guess, as the oatmeal. As I said, it's kind of, instead of cookie layers, it's cake, and you still get that cream filling. So it is kind of similar, but a protein cake from a big name brand is not something you get packaged all that often. In fact, very few companies I know of do that, even in the functional space, let alone guys like Phenoflex, who are known for sports nutrition supplements as well. But yeah, we have those reviews coming out this week, I believe. Protein Wars, the open list for Protein Wars is up this week too. If you haven't seen the Protein Wars before, basically it's our protein powder showdown. We go through 4 weeks of voting, where the first week we get everybody on our website to vote for what they think or what they believe is to be the best protein, their most favorite protein powder out there. The way the first round works is we get a list together of every protein people want to see on the list. And then when that first round goes live, you can vote. You can select any of those protein powders to vote on. But then at the bottom there is a box which you can enter if it's not on the list. If you didn't have time to let us know which one you wanted on there, there is a box at the bottom where you can enter the name, and then you get your vote submitted that way. And then that's the first round. It's always the most intense, most popular, most fierce. You get early knockouts, you get some surprise people that come through. So we take the top 16 of that list, and we then do a contest, four groups of 4, and they battle it out. We're left with 2 of 2. Those 2 battle it out into their groups, and then we end up with 1-on-1. So each round is a week long. And it's going to be a fun contest as always. It's always fun to see brands compete and fans interact and show their support. This was the 9th annual Protein Wars. The first winner we actually had, was 9 years ago. We had Salicor took home the title. Then it was Mark Loblanner's Machine Whey from MTS Nutrition. Then I believe we had the 2-time champion NutriBio Whey Protein Isolate. That took it the 2 years after that. Then we got Man Sports and ISO Protein. That product won it 2 years straight. Then Ghost took it home, and then last year it was Gym Stop Honey's Pro Gym. And so that contest, we're back. We have the open entry list live this week. So when it pops up, you'll be able to comment and say, look, I want to see this protein powder on there. It doesn't really add anything to the voting. It just means that when you go to the Protein Wars page to vote, when everything's live, you'll be able to just select your protein powder from an alphabetical list and then go vote. If it's not on the list, then you can just enter in the box at the bottom. Again, it's more of just an ease thing, and it's always better, I guess, if we see a brand that's not on there and we get 20 people commenting, why isn't this one on here? We add it. As simple as that, because obviously you're going to have that many people voting. And not necessarily everybody wants to scroll down to the bottom and see that box and type it in that way. But so that'll be going live. And another big admin detail this week is we will be announcing the first Brand of the Year nominees awards. We're going to be announcing the nominees for the Functional Food Brand of the Year. As I mentioned the last episode, I'm pretty sure it was the last one, we're going to be doing category by category. So this week we'll announce the nominees for functional. Next week we'll announce the winner, as well as the nominees for another category. I think it might be energy drink. And then kind of the week after that, we announce the winner and then announce nominees for another category, and so on, all the way up until the end of the year when we have Brand of the Year announced and Brand of the Decade announced. I still haven't decided how we're going to do that. I'm tossing up whether we put Brand of the Year last or Brand of the Decade last. Either way, those will be the last 2. It's essentially Stack's award season. So you'll be seeing a whole bunch of these over the next few weeks. But now we'll get into the updates. Go over all of these stories shared on the website from the past 7 days, the top stories. And we're going to kick things off with Pharma Freak, who revealed details on the next supplement it plans on launching in its Red Label series. Now, this is a series of supplements that was previewed earlier in the year, and we kind of had pictures of each of the supplements in the series, including Mental Freak, Supersonic Freak, Creatine Freak. We didn't get any more detail than that. Pharma Freak recently launched the first one from that series with Creatine Freak, which is a supplement the brand has on the market, but this is sort of a Red Label version, so it's a bit different. And all of the Red Label supplements, the catch is they have like a hybrid approach or multi-benefit approach. Creatine Freak has nootropics infused with it, along with the creatine. So it's a kind of twist that way. This past week, we got a full look at the final version of Mental Freak. And as far as we know, this is the next supplement to launch in the Red Label series. I believe it is due to arrive on the 21st, around the 21st. So it's about a week and a half from today. And that one, we had seen pictures of it earlier in the year, as I mentioned. But the big question was that Mental Freak is extremely, extremely unique in the sense that if you saw the original package, the product isn't your typical nootropic supplement. So it comes in the red box, similar to it comes in a box similar to other Pharma Freak supplements, but it's got that red label series branding. And with the reveal or the preview that we got last week, we could confirm that the supplement does indeed include KSM 66 ashwagandha, and extra the increasingly popular stimulant, and some theanine branded theanine, but no caffeine. It was important to note that there was caffeine free. Now, those sort of things were new pieces of information, of course, but the more interesting thing I felt was that when the brand previewed the product, it included these quirky little quotes. Typically on supplements, you see call-outs like effects like increase energy, skin splitting pumps, blah, blah, blah. On this one, Pharma Freak took the opportunity to put things like love your flaws, a friend to everyone is a friend to none, and fuck haters. For I guess censor purposes, they took out the units, just F star CK. F asterisk. And I asked them as soon as I saw that packaging way back then. I said, "Is this the final version?" And I'm pretty sure I would have mentioned it on an episode of the podcast. And they said that we can't confirm yes or no yet. So I kind of took that as, they're just doing this for fun or attention. Maybe we'll just leave it up in the air. Make it a little more exciting. Turns out they've kept those, and those are actually going to be on the final package. Those little call-outs, I love your flaws, a friend to everyone, they're going to be on the packaging on shelves in stores. And I just thought that was one of the quirkiest things I'd seen from a supplement in a while. You got a lot of brands these days not putting effects on at all, just sort of saying pre-workout, and not saying or blasting you with in-your-face things like tunnel vision and all this jazz. And that was quite interesting to see, and it's become a bit of a trend over the past few years. But this was really something cool. It was really something funny. And another quirky feature is that inside the box of Mental Freak, you're going to get a mood ring. Mood rings, of course, it's a bit of like a gimmicky accessory. You put it on your finger, kind of reflects, it's intended to reflect your mood. Changes color based on your mood. And I thought it was the coolest thing for them to put this in Mental Freak, purely because Mental Freak is, as I said, a nootropic, and it provides all those typical nootropic benefits such as mental focus, anti-anxiety, reduced stress, and things like that. So it's a kind of a good fit for the mood ring to be thrown in here. And it reminds me a lot if you've been following us now for a very long time, you will remember this. Way back, Giant Sports came up with a product called Giant Pump, and inside each tub was a tape measure. And the idea was to measure the pump, was to be like, dude, this works so well. We got a tape measure, and measure your arms before, measure them after. It was a really cool little quirk, and it's not something I'd seen since, if I remember correctly, Black Market. I can't remember if they did something with like a cocktail cup or something way back, but it's very rare that you get brands doing, again, quirky things like that, and it was refreshing to see Pharma Freak, again, not only put those little call-outs on the front of their packaging, but that mood ring. I just thought that was so damn funny. And that is in fact the final design packaging. All those callouts will be on it, and the mood ring will come in it. So yeah, as far as I know, that's the next supplement to drop from Pharma Freak in the Red Label series. The other ones, I think Supersonic Freak might follow it. We don't have details on that exactly, but it's that's the next one. And if you head to our website, you can just type in Mental Freak, and you'll get a funny look at what it's going to appear as on shelves, and it's well worth checking out. The next story we have is from Glaxon, who has shared a few things this past week. Over the past few weeks, it had a lot of big announcements. It launched that special edition honey bourbon flavor of its sleep supplement. It relaunched its Fat Burner Slice with a new and improved formula. And it also released a Christmassy candy cane flavor of its pump pre-workout Plasma Surge. But another story we shared over the past week, which we feel is well worth checking out, especially if you're like us and you're a big Glaxon fan, is if you head to their website, they've added this thing called Stack Builder. Now, most brands do stacks where you go to the website, they have kind of predetermined combinations of supplements, like a pre-workout, an amino, and a post-workout, and they give you automatic discount on buying that stack because it's basically a bulk purchase. Some brands don't allow you to use coupon codes on top of those things. It's not uncommon for that to kind of happen, mostly because obviously they're already giving you discount on the stack, so yeah. But Glaxon's not one of them. So they have stacks, and now they have this thing called Builder Stack. And basically it gives you 20% off any combination of 3 supplements. And then on top of this, you can use the ongoing coupon codes that they have out there, including our own one. If you go to Stacked, check out Stacked Insider or stack.com/insider. We have several supplement brands and stores you can use the word Stacked as a coupon code and get discount on. Glaxon is one of them, and that gives you 20% off. And that gets added on top of the discount you get with the Builder Stack. So basically, if you buy whatever 3 supplements and it comes to $100, you get 20% off because it's in the stack feature. And then you can use a coupon code to get 20% off that $80. So it's not 40% overall, it's like somewhere in the 30s or something, but it's still a solid discount. And I thought it was a really interesting feature, well worth checking out, because Glaxon is one of your premium high-priced brand. It's not in the mainstream realm in the 30s. A lot of its supplements are the 40s, 50s, some in the 60s. But this brings it right down. For example, just as a quick idea, if you get Plasm Caps, Plasm Surge, and Specimen, which is the brand's full-on pre-workout stack, if you buy them by themselves, you're looking at $135. If you buy them in the stack builder and then you add that coupon code on top, that brings them down to under $30 a piece. So it's a big leap. And again, if you're a Glaxon fan and you like buying more than one product, definitely check it out. And of course, any of those new products that they launched, including Slice, the Candy Cane, Honey Bourbon Tranquility, those are all included in there. It's not limited to a set of products. You can really, you get to really pick each one of the supplements in the stack. The next story we go to is a pretty big one, and it was very reminiscent. This one is very reminiscent of Muscle Farm. So again, if you've been following the website, Muscle Farm recently returned to the energy drink category. If you remember a while back, they entered the energy drink space long before it became as popular as it is now, with I think it was Energy Sport Zero and Energy Sport. 2 beverages with beta-alanine. Zero was the lower calorie version. So yeah, they recently returned to the category with Combat Energy Drink, which, as I said, we'll have a review up later this week. But now ProSups is returning to the energy drink game, and if you remember, years back they had a product called Hide Power Potion, and they took things a little bit further than that 300 milligrams of caffeine. They'd put 350, and it was pretty popular back in the day. And they're coming back. They're coming back to the energy drink market. They unveiled a product called Hide Energy, featuring a very interesting can design. Instead of that, the style that they had on the original Hide Power Potion, they've put a illustrated character, what I assume to be inspired by, I believe it's Mr. Hyde himself. If you ever visited them back in the day, I'm trying to remember how many years ago it was, but at expos they'd have a character, a guy dressed up in like a jacket and a very grungy type fashion, and then he had like the gas mask on. So the character on the Hide Energy drink that's coming soon has that same kind of gas mask, same kind of jacket, but he has hair. The guy at the expos didn't have hair, but you know, he still gives off that same vibe. We don't know when the product's launching, but we can tell you what's in it. And they haven't just put that typical energy drink formula. They've brought together a few ingredients, so you get 300 milligrams of caffeine per can, and that's from 3 different sources. There is then half a gram of citrulline, so not a huge 6 grams that you usually get in a pre-workout, but again, this is an energy drink, so the idea is to kind of give you energy on the go. 150 milligrams of alpha GPC to support focus, 250 milligrams of carnitine, theanine's in there as well, N-acetyl L-tyrosine, and Himalayan rock salt. Now again, the product is fully transparent, so the dosages of each ingredient are on there, but I couldn't make out the precise dosages on the theanine and N-acetyl L-tyrosine and Himalayan rock salt, but they are going to be shared. So again, I said it's fully transparent, and it is. We just couldn't rattle them off and give you the exact amounts. I think the picture we had was a little bit blurry as it got near the bottom. The product will be launching in 4 flavors to start. There will be one called Atomic Orange and Gamma Ray Grape, and the other 2, I believe, are a melon flavor one and a blue raz. We don't know the names of either of those though, so just that they are blue raz and melon themed. You can check it out for yourself. Just to the site, type in high energy, and you'll get a full look. But it is a pretty cool can. And again, it's pretty exciting seeing pro subs come back into the energy drink space, especially after Muscle Farm did it. The category has just blown up over the past few years. Not just dedicated beverage brands entering the space. Like you get brands like Pro Subs and Muscle Farm, who aren't necessarily beverage brands, sports nutrition supplements, and then they kind of bridge into that space and give you something on the go. And I do like it how supplement companies do it, purely because they can bring twists that, with energy drinks and energy drink brands, most of the time they do very simple things. And they just put, their goal is energy, that's it, kind of caffeine, taurine, all that jazz. When a supplement company comes into it, a brand who works with all these different active ingredients and pre-workouts and aminos, it's the opposite. They're trying to trim down what they can fit into this thing and make it taste great. And again, it's always exciting to see the concoctions they come up with. It's been fun watching the many brands jump in, and again, Pro Subs is the next one to do it. We'll be sure to share details on it when we have them, but definitely head to the website, and you'll better quickly find that one just by searching high energy. The next story we have is from the maker of our number 1 rated protein bar, and that is Barebells out of Sweden. They announced a new Christmas edition flavor of their flagship protein bar, our favorite, again, our utmost top rated, best tasting protein bar out there. They announced a new flavor, which we're pretty excited about, and we're going to try and get our hands on as soon as we can. As far as I know, it's only available in Sweden and maybe a few other European countries. Sweden, obviously, for sure. But it's a Christmas edition flavor, so this is something Barebells has done every year for a while. And a lot of these flavors that it does for Christmas tend to be so popular that they are turned into permanent flavors. This happened with their dark chocolate mint. It happened with, I think it's called Creamy Crisp, which was originally called Holiday Puffs. I'm trying to remember the other one. Christmas Fudge was another one that was turned original Christmas flavor, and that became, was it Fudge Brownie? The dark blue one. So the flavors that come out with Christmas always turn out to be popular enough that they make them ongoing options. And this one, if it turns out as good as I hope, I have to imagine this will be a stay as well. Barebells has put together a Rocky Road marshmallow flavor, or Rocky Road nutty marshmallow to be exact. It's a traditional Rocky Road kind of take. It brings together a fluffy layer of marshmallow with gooey caramel, crunchy peanuts across the top, all wrapped in Barebells' signature delicious milk chocolate. And you do, of course, get this was actually one of the interesting things I found about this one, is that the nutrition profile of this is slightly less than what you get in most of Barebells' other flavors. There's 17 grams of protein per bar instead of the usual 20, with 17 grams of carbohydrates, 1.4 sugar, 9.7 fat, and 209 calories. So the calories are about what you get in a usual Barebells protein bar, but the protein is not. And I've said this many times before, usually when the protein is slightly lower and the calories are in the typical realm, it gives the bar more room to kind of taste better. The less protein it has always seems to result in a better flavor. So my hope is that, being Rocky Road and Marshmallow, and not an easy flavor to hit, especially when you're promising a fluffy marshmallow center, I'm suspecting they've lowered the protein to try and deliver that better experience. So that should be great to see. And again, we'll let you know when we get our hands on it, if we can get our hands on it, all the way from Sweden. The next story we have is from Caged Muscle, who is coming out with an all-new premium pre-workout called Pre-Caged Elite. Now, this product is pretty damn loaded in short. So if you remember, Caged Muscle came out with Pre-Caged Sport, and I'm trying to remember if that was last year or the year before, which was their more mainstream, more cost-effective value-type pre-workout. The formula was a little bit simpler than Pre-Caged, but the price was a lot less as well. So it was very much like how you get C4 Extreme and then C4 Sport. Man Sports did it a while back. They had Game Day, and then they introduced Blockbuster. Devastate did it as well with Devastate. I think it was, I'm trying to remember the abbreviation, Devastate One and Only in Australia. A cheaper, more cost-effective, less loaded pre-workout. And so Pre-Caged Sport was kind of that. Now, Pre-Caged Elite is the other end of the spectrum. It is the premium pre-workout compared to Pre-Caged Sport and Pre-Caged. And it is pretty damn impressive if you're a fan of loaded dosages. They didn't come up short on this one. Each serving of this one, so it's a 20 servings per tub with a 36 gram serving size. Of that, you get 10 grams of pure citrulline. So this is an absolutely huge dose. It's not split up. It's not, half citrulline, malate, half citrulline. It is just 10 grams of pure citrulline. Very few supplements go that high. In fact, I would probably only count on one hand. Again, there aren't many out there. Then alongside that, you've got 3.2 of beta-alanine for performance. Creatine monohydrate's in there as well at 3 grams. Creatine nitrate is in there too, to provide more creatine. And then you have pumps from that as well, and that's at 2 grams. You then got 2.5 of betaine, and that's beta power, betaine anhydrous. 1.5 of Carnipure, 2 grams of taurine, coconut water, Elevate TP at its usual 150 milligrams to even further enhance and support performance. Then you get a huge 2.5 of tyrosine for focus, 300 milligrams of alpha size branded alpha GPC, huperzine, Armati, and a 388 milligrams of caffeine. So this thing is, like I said, it's pretty damn loaded. If you're a fan of well-rounded products, they've got something for every core effect you could want in a pre-workout. And the thing I like about it is that it maintains that kind of vibe you get from Pre-Caged. Pre-Caged is a very performance and endurance focused pre-workout. It's not too heavy on the stims. It doesn't really have a huge amount of ingredients for energy and focus like you see in some of those more hardcore, harder hitting pre-workouts. Its goal is really to power you through, and that is exaggerated a bit in this Pre-Caged Elite, especially with that 10 grams of pure citrulline. And then you got the creatine and beta-alanine and betaine. It's a pretty hefty supplement, and I mean it's they've done a great job. You can check out the formula for yourself on the site. Just type in Pre-Caged Elite. As far as I know, this one's coming out sometime in the near future. I don't know exactly when. Sometime in the near future. There's actually been quite a few pre-workouts very similar to this, where brands you wouldn't have expected to just come out with these just packed out pre-workouts, they do. I think, what's his name? Rise was obviously one of the more recent ones to do it. That one's not available yet, but we'll be making sure we buy that one. There are a few big name brands doing it, and it's been cool to see. And we'll be probably buying this as soon as we get our hands, as soon as it rolls out. You can't go wrong with 10 grams of citrulline. Again, as far as formulas on paper go, this thing looks like it'll be a fun ride and have no trouble delivering on its promises. But yes, once again, you can head to the site, check it out for a closer look. But for this episode, that'll do it. I'll make sure we're back next week with another one. And as always, stay tuned to the website, visit every day, click as many stories as you can, find out everything about every new product coming in. And as always, we appreciate you listening and following.